So
nice. Well, this one will be fun. I'm excited.
I can't wait, man.
So when I told Anna who the featured artist was, her like I played her a snippet, and Anna went, "Well, Christian's ass is gonna blow up. He's gonna love this one." So cool. So yeah, we'll just jump right in. This is going to be fun. A new game, or it's a twist on an old thing that we did or that we've been kind of doing.
No rules.
No, there's no rules. This will be fun.
No rules.
No rules. And
okay, well, go ahead, start.
Wait, who's gonna do the first listen? You or me, Fisher?
Why don't you do it?
Okay, I'll do it.
Jam in. We haven't had that in a long time. We haven't had a jam in on the one. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the UNT3 podcast, the music podcast that brings you, our listeners and viewers, all music all the time. I'm your host, Ryan Gerfers, here with, One Take Fisher, again, doing it without having any editing. It's amazing. Our editing team loves this guy.
We do.
Very much.
We do.
Not so much this guy because I make their life miserable, but it's okay. But then really our editing team is, they're a hero to us for real. They are. That's this guy. He's a team. He is the I in team. That's what he is.
Right on.
But I tell you what. So we're three best friends, as you know. If you're new, just listen. Anytime we get together, all we like to do is talk music, and that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to jump right into what we're doing. So something new. All right, I shouldn't say brand new. Something that we've done, but with a heavy twist. So, and this is going to take several episodes, which is going to be fun. So we can carry this over, and this will be a good time. If you've listened or watched in the past, we've done the whole whose corner are you getting in? And it's typically been one pinned up against the other. Well, last episode we did that, but we did it with three artists. Here's the fun part today.
We're going to 4.
No, we're going way more, which is really, really fun. This is called Which House Are You Going to Get In? 80's edition.
Ooh, okay.
Now, here's how this is going to work, because this week is going to be different from any other episode with this, just to get it kicked off. There are 9 total houses.
Ooh.
And each house has 6 artists in it.
Damn. Where did you get this?
Now, here's the deal. This episode today, we're going to go through houses 1 and 2. I'm not playing music. I'm just going to list the artists. Next episode, when we get to house 3, I'm going to play you clips from each one of their bands or artists or whoever.
Okay.
And then what you'll do today, you're going to pick, are you getting in house 1 or 2? Next week, you will pick whether or not house 3, you're going to move into that or stay with who you picked this week. And we're just going to keep going through the list. And then by the end, we will know whose house you're getting in.
I didn't know we had to study this episode. Jeez.
This is going to be fun. So here we go. Again, I'm not playing any of the music because I'm not going to do 12 different clips today. We would be here until tomorrow if we did that. So
right on.
I figure for time saving, we'll just talk about houses 1 and 2 today.
Okay. The houses of the holy. Let's do it.
Which house are you getting in? 80's edition. 80's edition. Here we go. House number 1. House 1.
Okay.
You have The Cure.
Okay.
Depeche Mode.
Okay.
Okay.
New Order.
Okay.
Okay.
The Police.
Okay.
Whoa, why are they in that house?
The Smiths.
Ooh.
Because they're all British. That's why.
And the Eurythmics. That's house one.
Okay.
So editing team, when I read these off, give us a list out here to the side.
Okay,
right?
we'll do it right out to the side.
That's house one.
Said Cure.
I'm going to go through it for you again.
All right.
The Cure.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode. New Order. The Police. The Smiths. And Eurythmics.
Like it.
That is house one.
Okay.
Now, house two. Here we go. Blondie.
Okay.
Talking Heads. Joan Jett. The Cars. The B-52s. And the Go-Go's.
Oh, man.
Woo!
Oh.
Now, so there are 12 bands, 12 artists, 12 groups, whatever you want to call them. So off of those lists alone, whose house are you in?
You know, it's funny. It's like it's my young happy self or it's my middle school to early high school depressed self. Depends on what era I wanna follow in. Fisher, what do you think? What do you got going on here?
Hold on 1 second. I'm checking something out. All right. It's really hard not to go with house one. Like,
is it because it's got the Police in it?
No.
Okay.
The Police, in my mind, don't belong in that list. I mean, if you look at the other bands, The Cure, Depeche Mode, New Order, Smiths, Eurythmics. Okay. Eurythmics aside, the rest of them, they're all the 80s version of emo music, basically. Would you agree with that, Joel?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Eurythmics are more rock based, right? But they, their biggest hit, Sweet Dreams, they're a synth pop band. At least they were in the 80s. And the Police, they're just, hello, we're this reggae fusion band over here. Everybody on that list, they're all British.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they really don't. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 6 are basically the same genre.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, if that's your thing that you're looking for,
right? That's why I'm saying, like, the Police, they really don't. So the Police aren't one of the. I just took a really long way to say the Police aren't the reason I picked that list.
Is it just because house 2 sucks ass?
House 2 doesn't suck. You've got 1, 2, 3. The first 3, I don't know about the Cars, but the first 3 bands are all New York bands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They all came out of that new wave / punk scene, especially Blondie. Right? Talking Heads were more of the new wave kind of sound. To me, they're the best band in that list. They're the second or third best band in both houses, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Christian, you're going with house 1.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm going to write you down there for when we do this again next week to see if I scratch you off of house 1 and move you to 3.
You probably will.
Just looking at the list right now on 3, I probably will. I'm going to say it now. I think both of you are either going to pick house. Oh, God, this is hard. Houses 4, 5, and 6, I think, are going to give you all the hardest time.
Yeah.
Just saying that.
Yep. Well, I will tell you, just looking at this.
He's going to go house 2.
No. I'm just saying it's interesting to me, just the mix. Like in each house, there's bands I really, really, really love. And then there's bands that I like appreciate, but I don't.
Right.
Don't like. I love New Order, in the fact that I appreciate what they do, but I can't tell you the last time I listened to a New Order song. But I think they're amazing.
You
And
probably
that's
didn't
just-
listen to a New Order song unless it came on the radio.
Yeah, and like Talking Heads are the same. Like I appreciate everything that they did, Psycho Killer, all that stuff, like, but I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I listened to a Talking Head song. So it's an interesting list, but I'm actually gonna go just based off of this being one of the worst concerts I've ever been to, but I still love them.
Depeche Mode is who you're talking about, right?
That's exactly who I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with house number one. Just
Okay.
but seriously, just based off of The Cure, Depeche Mode, their studio stuff, and The Police, and I mean the Smiths are good. They're one of those bands I appreciate, but I can't tell you the last time I listened to the Smiths.
Might want to take an antidepressant after listening.
Yeah,
to
New Order and the Eurythmics. I mean, again, all great bands. Annie Lennox is one of the greatest vocalists of the 80s.
See, I can't believe Joy Division isn't on this list.
Yeah, that would make sense for that house, but I'm gonna go house number one. I have to do it. And the main reason for me, The Cure, God,
Yeah, The Cure and
I mean, just that band alone kind of knocks every other band out of that
the first two bands really cemented that list for me.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, in this list alone, Depeche Mode, New Order, and Eurythmics all have a song covered by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Blue Monday was not covered
Okay.
by Marilyn Manson. That was covered by Orgy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But he did Personal Jesus and he did what's the Eurythmics one? Sweet Dreams.
Yeah. That was actually their first big hit.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson's The Spooky
He's
Kids.
riding the pig.
Yeah. Marilyn Manson, The Spooky Kids. Can't stand Marilyn Manson, but I will say live, The Beautiful People, that is a hard song to not get into live. Anyway, but that being said, yeah, house number one.
Nice.
This is going to drive me crazy because the rest of the week I'm going to wonder who's in these other houses.
You're going to want to
Right?
know who's in houses 3 through 9.
Yeah.
Well, you will find out soon enough.
Okay. So
It's
do
the-
we find out 3 next week?
Yes. Well, so next week, the way this works is next week, we're only going to go over house number 3, and I'm going to play you clips from each one of those groups.
Oh,
That way, we're only going through 6 groups at that point. Today would have taken forever because we would have listened to 12,
yeah.
and that's just too long.
I'm
so,
excited. Let's do this.
We might actually make ad money on this one.
so there you go. There you go. And so, yeah, that'll be fun. Now, we'll go straight into, because I didn't want to take a whole lot of time on this today, even though I have a feeling this is going to be a fun little segment. And for all of you watching and listening, this segment's going to drag out several episodes. And I'm going to say it now. As soon as we are done with this house segment, meaning we've covered all 9 houses and these 2 guys have picked what house they're in, the episode following that, we are freaking starting the super group.
Okay.
Yeah, my buddy. Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Can we have
So-
better parameters this time? Because we just kind of were all over the place.
You're
last
the
time.
one that came up with the parameters.
I again, can we come up with better parameters?
So come on there, hero.
Well, it was suggested to me that instead of dragging it out over several episodes, we should just all come to the episode with our own super group already made and then pick from there.
I think that would be a great idea.
That's cool.
And I think that if we have an automatic 3-way, they automatically
They
win.
automatically get in.
Yeah.
Cool. So that'll be Flea, and Flea. Totally mess with me. I love it. But okay, so that's how we're gonna do that. Now, let's get on to
Asshole.
the actual part of the show tonight that my wife said is going to blow his ass up.
Wow.
Okay. So,
Automatic
we're-
suppository.
yes, it's going to be amazing. So, with that being said, before I play the clip, I
Before he
want
plays it.
I want to give you the rundown of their stats, what they've done, and all of that.
Okay.
This is a band, 9 studio albums,
Okay.
2 live albums,
Okay.
4 video albums,
Okay.
4 compilation albums,
Hmm.
20 million albums sold worldwide.
Okay.
They have 4 Grammy nominations, just nominations. They never won a Grammy, at least from the research I did. All right. This was
the minutes of preparation.
I know, right? The band was formed in 1981.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to tell you where because it would give it away.
Give it away now?
No. With that being said, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we're not making money on this episode.
It's all right. We could let that go the whole song and it would be amazing.
Oh my God.
Good old
This-
Fort Worth boys.
This is a heavy metal band, and Wikipedia, which is not a kids, it's not a good source for, references if you're doing a research paper.
That's not too bad.
Don't do it. But they're from Arlington, formed in 1981. That would be Pantera.
That would be the Dallas Fort Worth band Pantera.
Oh,
The
don't let the Arlington people hear you say that.
Now, members, because I know y'all are going to want to talk about these guys. The members, we've got Dimebag Darrell on lead guitar, Vinnie Paul drums, Rex Brown on bass, and then Phil, is it Anselmo?
Anselmo.
Anselmo, the vocalist.
Yeah.
They
They actually had a vocalist before that too.
did, but he
sucked. So
he left from what I saw, he left in the 80s. And so like the mid to late 80s, he was gone.
That's when they were still trying to do the hair band thing, and that's when Phil came in.
And so
I mean,
yeah,
they were still
Pantera.
hair bandish with Cowboys.
Yeah, but with Vulgar, they destroyed. That was long gone. So my friend Andrew from Australia, when I lived with him, he visited for a while in the States, and he would wake me up every morning by blaring Vulgar Display of Power on the radio. He put the disc in and he would just crank it and start off with Mouth of War. Oh my gosh.
Now, what was can y'all name the song that I just played?
That's Walk.
Yeah, that's easy.
Come on.
That's easy. I know. I wasn't trying to stump you. Just, for the listeners, Walk. I think if you go to any kind of sporting event, you might eventually hear that get played at the sporting event.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how many times have we seen a show, like a heavy show? I mean, I saw it when Motley Crue played. I saw it when Avenged Sevenfold played. That you start that, I don't care where you're at, people lose their minds. It's just one of those anthems that people stop in their we talk about songs that you have to let it finish when you're listening to it. Walk for me is one of those songs, like you have to let it finish.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I was that I read when I was doing the research. I've only got 4 songs, 4 little clips. But everything that I was reading, it was talking about, well, this anthem, and this was another anthem.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were known for putting together anthems where everybody just stopped and the whole place would just go crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I saw an interview once with the lead singer, Phil, and he talked about, because they're, at least according to him, they were what he considered to be groove metal.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was like, most people or most bands wait to put the groove in the chorus. And he was like, we said, F that. We're just going to put the groove right up front from the get-go. And I think that's what, especially off of Vulgar, You had what, 3 or 4 quote unquote anthems just off that album alone, and then they followed it up with Far Beyond Driven, which is my favorite album.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
God, that one's brutal.
Mhm.
That is just, talk about punch you in the face.
Yeah.
It knocks your teeth down your throat. It's a. Do you know they paid the guy $50 every time they hit him when they did that cover? They found
No.
some homeless dude or something like that, and they're like, "Hey, can we pay you $50 to punch you in the face and take a picture of it?"
No.
And the guy was like, "Sure." They ended up hitting him like 10 or 11 times. Paid him
Golly.
$50 each time.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm going to play you another clip where I got this from. They talked about how this is about 3 minutes and 50 seconds into this song. And when we did a metal breakdown section episode a few episodes back. And this, I think, would have fit in there. And so I'm just going to hit play on this right now. And this, I think, would have fit that episode perfectly.
Is it 5 minutes alone?
It is not.
Oh,
It is
the
not.
breakdown on that song.
Yeah, they have some good ones. Okay, play it.
Here we go.
See, just like. All of those bands from that episode, that breakdown episode, wish they could do this.
Yes.
I mean, it's not hard. It's just. And that's just one guitar. How many times do you think he overdubbed that?
Probably 3. Sounds like there's 3 different parts.
Just the. Da-da-da.
Oh, that he probably
Yeah.
just did it once or twice.
Hey, really? Before they.
I was going to say,
Down.
I could let that just play through the end, but apparently
Why is my computer on fire? Oh yeah, because that breakdown. Oh
dude, like that's just good.
yeah.
That's just good.
Well, they played a show in Arlington. I think it was in '85, between Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Metallica came to town and they played, like, after that one show. Every time Metallica came to town, they were like, "We got to have this band with us."
Yeah.
And James and Dime were really good friends, and it's just it's too bad they didn't take off when. I mean, I know they took off in the late '80s, early '90s, but it's too bad it took them as long as it did to take off.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I mean, we got a lot of great albums out of them, but
well, and of course, they broke up, and then the untimely death of Dimebag. But the one thing that I've thought when I think about Pantera, as heavy as their music was or is, they loved their fans and they loved having a good time. And I mean, when Dimebag passed away, I couldn't tell you the number of stories that I read online or in articles of people. He was kind of like Dave Grohl before Dave Grohl was really
Yeah.
Dave Grohl. And he would just hang out with everybody. Like,
it's funny you bring up Dave Grohl, because if you've ever seen the show on YouTube called Hot Ones, have you seen that one where
he does the black tooth grin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, because he asked him, "Did you ever meet Dimebag?" And the guy's like, "No," and he's like, "Black tooth grin. It's just Jack and Coke."
Yeah.
And
it varies a little bit depending on who drinks it, but
if you ever had the pleasure or misfortune, however you want to see it, because I did, to have Dimebag make you a Jack and Coke, you're taking your life in your own hands.
well, my friend Andrew, who lives in Australia, he was a bartender, and he ended up partying with Dimebag all night, and he was like,
have I told y'all the clubhouse story?
I know of the clubhouse. I don't know if it's a specific story.
So my Uncle Mike, which tell me if this is going to surprise you. He's still good friends, and so am I, with the guy at the time who used to be the general manager of the clubhouse.
Okay.
And one night I'm up here. I was probably 19. I was up I come up to visit my grandparents, and Uncle Mike was over at the house, and he gets a phone call from Dallas, the guy who he's really good friends with. And Dallas is like, "Hey Hutch," that's what he called Uncle Mike. "Hey Hutch, we were having trouble with the sound system. Can you come out and help us out?" "Yeah, sure, no problem." Hangs up the phone. "Christian, do you want to go with me out to this club? And they're having trouble with the sound system." "Yeah, I'll go." Thinking it's a club like we're going to like Deep Ellum or something.
But
right?
not the clubhouse.
But not the clubhouse. And we walk in. First of all, we had to come in through the back.
Okay.
Right. And so when you come in through the back, the girls' locker room is right there. And so
No, I would not know that, but I trust you.
you walk in the door and there's literally like 5 or 6 just
Yeah.
they make beard look small.
Yeah.
Right. And so you walked in there, go in the office with Dallas, and we're talking. And so Mike goes to fix the sound system, and Dallas just looks at me and goes, "Hey, go to the bar, get a drink." And I was like, "Anything I want?" And he goes, "Yeah, anything you want. Just go up to the bar and tell him Dallas sent you." So I go to the bar, and I was not a drinker at this time. So I'm like, "What am I going to get?" So I go up to the bar and was like, "Hey, want a screwdriver?" And I just from behind, I go, "Screw that." He goes, I can't remember what the girl's name behind the bar was. He goes, "Let me make the drink for him." And I turned around, dime bag. And as he's pouring the drink, he goes, "How did you get in here? You're not old enough." I said, my uncle's the guy fixing your sound system. And he's like, "Oh, you're friends with Hutch?" I was like, "No, he's my uncle." And he's, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Hutch's a good guy." He goes, "When you finish that, come back. I'll pour you another." I didn't even get like a fourth of the way.
Oh my gosh. But I mean,
that's my dime story. Oh, and then he was like, "Hey, what are y'all doing later tonight?" And I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Having a big party at my place." He goes, "Just look for the big gate with the sign that says party up the hill."
yeah.
Right.
That's just how he was though with everybody though. And that's the funny thing, like no matter how big they got, it was always a positive, like he was such a caring, fun, loving guy. And like I said, like Dave Grohl, they just seem like the same type of people. And I actually I didn't get to meet Dimebag, but I did get to meet Vinny.
Dude, Vinny's a cool dude too.
And Vinny was right around the same time that someone thought I was Vince Neil. But and Vinny was like 2 feet tall. Like he was like literally his hat was taller than his body. And to see him play in the videos, you would just think he was like 6 feet tall and this big, massive. I mean, he was a solid guy, but he was nothing. Like even with the cowboy boots, he was still shorter than I am. And I'm not the tallest of people. But super nice. They were just all, I only know really much about the 2 brothers. Phil.
Rex is a lot like, because they all grew up together. And I don't really know Rex, the bass player. Well, I knew the other 2.
Yeah.
But I've
met
the other 2. Right.
Yeah.
I met the other 2. Rex I never met. Dallas though, whenever Dallas loves talking about Pantera, or at least he does with me. I've never, because I know that he used to work, like he was really good friends with the Abbott brothers.
Yeah.
And I remember I was DJing his son's 16th birthday party, Dallas's, and I was asking about the band, and because I'd read something online like, hey, there might be a Pantera reunion with what's his name, Zach Wilde, and some other guys filling in for Dimebag. And Dallas was like, "That'll never happen."
Yeah,
never happened. He said at the time, because Vinny was still alive, he was like, Vinny and Rex want nothing to do with Phil.
Yeah,
like Phil wasn't even welcome at the funeral for for Dimebag.
Yep.
And but now I watched a video on the, can't believe it, the 30th anniversary of Vulgar Display.
Gee.
And there's an episode we should do. But the guy who was doing the interview, he was interviewing both Rex and Phil at the same time. So something probably right after Vinny passed, you know, Rex thinking, all right, I got to bury the hatchet with this guy before he goes. Cause we all know, I'm surprised Phil wasn't the first one to go.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people, you know, we were talking about the whole Lars shirt. It should have been him instead. But like a lot of people wish it would have been Phil instead because, you know, he was, you know, those guys were just all just the nicest guys. Phil was obviously the kind of loudest. I mean, he's a front man, so I kind of get it. But, you know, Dimebag and, you know, of course, his brother died a few years ago, too. It's just crazy, you know. But music, one of the greatest, best guitar players ever. I mean, easily rated top 10 of all time. I mean, just phenomenal player. You know, just the band, those first 3 albums, you know, Cowboys from Hell is I wish they would have been able to maybe remaster it a little bit, but that second and third album, I mean,
with that being said, have a listen to this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
I just like, that's hilarious. Y'all are, oh my God.
Yeah,
It's
this is
hilarious.
Well, I mean, you've got to, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. Go on ahead. Go on ahead. You're going to say what I'm thinking, I'm sure.
But I mean, I'm not a guitar player. I have no musical inclination in my body whatsoever. But you listen to the stuff that Dime did, and not that it was, I don't know, it wasn't, in my estimation, it wasn't really imaginative other than the fact that, like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to do that. Right. And he just, I mean, when you're winning guitar competitions at what, 14, 15 years old?
Yeah, he was, I think the guitar that his main first guitar, that Dean guitar, I think he won it when he was like 16, like 15 or 16.
Yeah, but I mean, and for those albums, those albums, when they came out, when they did, you know, like, it was very impressionable. Because at that time, I was pretty much full on Metallica or nothing, right? Like that was, I ate, drank, slept, breathed Metallica, and then I heard Pantera, and I was like, "Ooh, hey, what's this?" And then come and find out they're Texas boys, right? Like, okay, I do live in a state that could put out some pretty kick-ass music, right? And
yeah,
that song, I mean, for me, that song, that one, and there's only like 2 or 3 more on that song that I really, really enjoy. The rest of the album is just kind of okay, right? But then they followed, like we just said, they followed it up with Vulgar Display of Power, and then followed that up with Far Beyond Driven. Like they steamrolled you, man.
Yeah.
From song 1 to song last, they just steamrolled you.
Let me play this last clip real quick. And we're talking about steamrolling and this and that. And when I was putting this together, this song right here took a step back a little bit, and it wasn't so much in your face. So let me go ahead and play this. Oh, before we do that, the song I just got done playing was Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah.
Right.
The first big hit.
The song that had the big breakdown that we let play for way too long, that was called Domination. All right, here we go.
That's a great song. I was just thinking about this song.
This is called Cemetery Gates.
Bonus points if you know the movie that it was his soundtrack it was on.
Ooh.
Oh God, I'm not gonna get it, but it's like here. It's like right there.
It's from the Tales from the Crypt.
Mm.
I was like,
Have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
yes.
No, man, no, man. But it, you know, it just
Oh.
it just makes me laugh because like our last episode we had Coldplay and I listened to Coldplay for like 2 or 3 days in a row, and I'm just like, well, I know what I'm doing tonight. You know, for people, it's real easy to dismiss music like this.
Yeah.
But the thing that I love about Metallica is I've always talked about the ebb and flow. There's just this, like they're almost not going to make it, but they somehow make it.
Yeah.
And this is more apparent live. In the studio, it's still there, but live, they really do kind of stretch some of that, especially like on Sad But True and some of these other ones. And I feel like Pantera does the same thing. Like it has that groove that you can only have with 3 people that have known each other their whole lives, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, no.
They all went on and did their own things. And of course, Damage Plan, which still was good, but I mean, it never was like this. And
Right.
you listen to that, they have that driving part, dun, 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 and it like gets back into it, but it's like it's almost not going to make it to the next part. I just absolutely, this is such a great band. Go check them out. I don't care if you listen to Perry Como. Go listen to some Pantera.
Now you might have said something about this while I took a little leave of absence to go, handle some business. But
some business.
I got to go handle some business. But
they running up your light bill?
Yes. No. Running up my pee bill. I got to go pee,
Okay. Wow.
Lots of water brought to you by Kroger.
Okay.
There we go. That's our sponsor for the day, Kroger. I've been drinking a lot of water lately. Anyway, tell me if I'm wrong, or I could be, I don't know. But didn't Van Halen put like his guitar in Dimebag's cast? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought I'd heard you say that, but I couldn't remember.
He put his yellow and black Kramer version Strat in the case.
Right. Wasn't it the original?
It was the original.
Yeah.
How much would that guitar sell for on the market right now?
I mean, it's not like the Frankenstein or the various version of Frankensteins, but it's 20, 30 grand. I mean, it's.
Are you talking like the actual one that's in the casket with Dime, or?
Yeah, the one that's actually in there. He did give him a replica, but he actually gave him the black, yellow and black. It's on one of their album covers. It was before around the time he did his red one, which is what he's really known for, which there's a 5150 Strat, and then or Kramer, and then there's the Frankenstein, which the Frankenstein is really the one that, I mean, that's the one would go for several $100,000. And of course now his son owns both of them, but yeah, the yellow and black one, man, that's pretty. I think he used it on Unchained, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I mean, they had a bond because Eddie and his brother, they were guitar player and drummer, and he was a phenomenal guitar player and drummer, and so was Dimebag and his brother. So
well, I mean, they're Eddie and Alex were big influence / idols for the Abbott brothers.
Yeah.
Like growing up.
Yeah, 100%. So,
well, I mean, we talked about it in the memorial video for Eddie. Just all of the guitar players who grew up in the early, mid, late 80s, early 90s. Like Van Halen was the guitar god.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dimebag came along and was a guitar god in his own right.
Yeah. No, definitely 100%. And what's so funny is Eddie liked to tinker with his guitars and with his amps and all that other stuff. And Dimebag started doing the same thing. Unfortunately, Dimebag didn't have the longevity because, of course, he passed away a lot younger than Eddie. But I think that he would have been just as involved in building stuff nowadays.
Well, I mean, even so, kind of going back when you're talking about the post Pantera for the Abbott brothers, like a great guitar player, a great drummer, and the other musicians in Damage Plan are pretty damn solid themselves, but it wasn't a Pantera because they didn't grow up together playing. Like you said earlier, like it's a noticeable difference between what Pantera could do as opposed to Damage Plan.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I do have to ask, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song?
Yeah, what's your favorite song? See, for me, it's going to be Mouth of War. That's my favorite.
That's
the lead off track off of Vulgar.
The lead track, dude.
Yeah.
That squeal that he does with the guitar at the beginning. Wait, that's New Level.
Yeah. Sorry, a New Level. Oh my gosh, that one's good too. Yeah,
I think Mouth of War is either second or third song on that album. There you go.
Just listen to this riff. This is one of the most fun riffs to play. And then these harmonics that come in.
Oh my God.
And then these harmonics come in. God, so good.
Okay, right? Just to shiver right down.
Oh man. I need a cigarette. And I don't even smoke.
My favorite song, even though I love Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven is still my favorite album. I don't know, it's hard to pick, but I'm gonna pick 5 Minutes Alone.
5
track,
minutes.
Man. It's a good track too. That's all I need. 3 minutes.
See, even the sound on this album is a little more streamlined.
Yeah.
The bass comes through a lot more on this album.
Yeah.
Oh, I get all giddy.
Yeah. Well,
man, that is slippery.
I don't know. I don't know Pantera very well at all. I really don't. And so,
dude, the album.
I would pick, for me, my favorite song would either be Walk or Cowboys from Hell. That would be one of those two. Because I do not have the Pantera knowledge that you guys have. So,
but those are still great tracks. So there's not a bad. Well, there's really not a bad one. So
got it.
I mean, I don't know. The Great Southern Trendkill. That's a pretty
okay. There's not a bad track. Oh my gosh,
that's a good album too,
man. All dude, go check them out. They're so good. I'm so glad. I was not a fan of Reinventing the Steel. Yeah,
I was not a fan of that album. But
they weren't really working together at that point. I mean,
no.
So it's hard. It's hard. I always joke that being in a band is like being married to like several women at the same time. And that's really the case. And to be able to keep up that chemistry,
playing the music that they play.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to have that kind of ability to do that. But
although, go ahead. No,
I'm just saying, like, that's just difficult to do. So
100.
Well, this is great. So I've decided, since I got the first listen, and this is the first listen I've had in quite a while, I think I'm going to keep the trend.
Right on.
So I don't know if this is going to be too loud because we didn't sound check this, but this is the song I picked.
Minutes, baby.
Y'all ready?
Let's do it. Dragon Force.
Like walking into a dream, somewhat like what you've seen, so much of it seems.
This is Avenged Sevenfold.
You're rolling into this place, just giving you a small taste of your afterlife. Feel so stay, you'll be back as soon anyway. I see a distant light, my girl, this can't be right. Such a surreal place to
That bass player.
go out in this
Yeah.
got to be right to Wally. And when I think of all the places I just don't belong,
Look at my kid, that drummer.
I then realize this is going too far. I don't belong here, we gotta move on here. Escape from this afterlife, 'cause this time I'm right to move on and on, far away from here. Place of open no pain, perfect skies and no rain. Can leave this place but we're free, 'cause we've been waiting for you. Falling into this place, just giving you a small taste of your afterlife. Feel so stay, you'll be back as soon anyway. This peace on earth's not right. No pain, no sign of time. So out of place, don't wanna stay. I feel wrong and that's my sign. I made up my mind. Give me your hand, I realize I just wanna say goodbye. Please understand I have to leave and carry on my own life. I don't belong here, gotta move on here. Escape from this afterlife, 'cause this time I'm right to move on and on, far away from here. Got nothing against you, and surely
I forgot how good the mix in the background is. Being able to hear all those vocals.
and I know you might take me back inside when the time is right.
This may be one of my all-time favorite guitar solos. It's easily top 5.
Back home, I'm crying 'cause they're already missing me. I'm praying by the grace of God that there's somebody listening. Give me a chance to look at who's in on the I'm trying so far, but you gotta let go.
Now this is the part.
Oh my god. That drummer going toe to toe with that solo too, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Escape from this afterlife, 'cause this time I'm right to move
God Almighty, Joel.
Oh man, I just
Boy.
You gotta warn us before you do something like that.
well, it was so funny when
Damn.
it first started. I could see y'all's faces, like y'all were like,
Oh, I've heard that song a million times.
yeah. And then of course, as soon as the thing is I could have picked anything off that album, those first 5 tracks, any of them.
Okay, well, tell the people who we just listened to.
Well, Ryan said it earlier. Actually, Ryan, since
Yep.
you guessed it correctly.
So, okay. So had I gotten that wrong, my wife probably never would have let me slept in our bed again ever.
yeah.
And so that is Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Now, my thing with Avenged is the first time I heard them live.
Okay, you told us who it was. Now, what's the song?
It's,
that one.
Afterlife.
Yeah. So with Avenged, I had heard Backcountry, and that's kind of up to that point. Backcountry was kind of what I was into.
What was that video game? That
And
it was on that
Freaking
game.
badass song too,
Yeah.
though.
And so we went to a show where it was in Grand Prairie is
Yeah.
where we went.
It was at the Nokia Theater.
That's right. And I wanted to go there to see Bullet for My Valentine.
Yeah, it was
And up
Mayhem
to-
Festival.
And up to that point, I was like, Avenged Sevenfold. Okay, cool. I just want to hear Backcountry. I'll never forget. Bullet was great. I loved Bullet. I think they played amazingly well.
Yeah.
But that show, I'll never forget the lead singer of Avenged. He looked out to the crowd and he said, "Hey, we're going to play y'all a new song tonight." He goes, we're bringing it to you right now. And they had the little cartoon, like the little animation that played along, and they played Beast and the Harlot,
Yeah.
the little animation. And I'll never forget when that song finished, I literally had to sit down and like I was,
Did you need a cigarette?
dude, I'll never forget. I just sat there and I looked at Anna and we both were looking at each other like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
And I was
that
there.
song prop for me. And I've seen Aerosmith live. I've seen a lot of I've seen Poison. I've seen a lot of the bigger names, Metallica, right? Beast and the Harlot live is probably the best single song that I've seen live. It was ridiculous. I'm saying for me, like
No,
y'all
I'm saying that's saying something because we've the three.
We've
of us
seen
have-
some shows.
yeah. I mean,
shows, right?
and hell,
I mean,
and-
separately, like separately, or maybe, I know Joel and I have seen Radiohead. Did you go with me and Aaron and Aaron's wife?
I've been twice.
Like
I've
we
seen them
went
3
to-
times.
One, well, we've been to 2 shows.
Yeah.
One, we meant to be there together. The second, we didn't know that we were there.
Yeah.
Actually, the first one we did, it was the first one.
Yeah.
But
True.
I mean, or we've all 3 been to shows together, and to say that's one of the best songs that you've seen live, that's saying a lot.
well, yeah, I mean, and I saw one of the best overall shows I've seen is one that you went to, the 9 Inch Nails concert. I
Yeah.
remember leaving that show just going, dude, I didn't go to
Wait, wasn't
sleep.
Depeche Mode on that?
No, that
No,
was
they were
later.
like a few weeks
That
later.
was
and it
later.
such a letdown. But the 9 Inch Nails
really
show,
was.
the 9 Inch Nails show from beginning to end, I remember getting in the car. We didn't get home until after midnight. It was probably close to 2. And I was like, you know what? I can't go to sleep. I was that much on a high. But
Yeah.
dude, Beast and the Harlot from Avenged, that song, a song is never live has never really done that to me where I had to sit down and go, let me collect myself real quick. Like, holy
Well,
shit.
Yeah.
You know, so listening to that song, and you know, admittedly I'm not the most educated listener when it comes to Avenged Sevenfold. Like, I know who they are. I know their members. Like, probably the one I know the best is the Rev.
Mhm.
Um,
The drummer.
God, yeah, the drummer, former drummer who sadly passed away way too early. But I had just listened to what he did on that song, and like I said, going toe to toe with the solo,
Mhm.
like his kick drums going along. I mean, God,
Yeah.
guy was filthy. But that song, I don't know, that I could just think of that song, like their lead guitar player, Sinister Gates.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
was just thinking, like, this is one of last bands really, because bands today don't really write music like this anymore. But this is one of those bands that probably like at the very tail end of writing songs like this. I mean, that song, that talk about an epic. That song's an epic, right?
Yeah.
And just I I can say this with all sincerity, like they don't write music like this anymore. And to listen to what the guitar player was doing, sinister, like what do they have in what does this band have in common with Pantera that has something in common with Van Halen is like the guitar players studied one another,
Yeah.
right? Like if you watch interviews with the lead singer Sinister Gates, he talks about how both those guys, Dime and Eddie, were huge influences on him and how he would sit there and try to learn everything that they did.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, and again, I don't really listen to a whole lot of popular music, so I couldn't tell you what is and what isn't popular. But it's just a shame that this band in particular, of all the bands that we've heard in this new segment that Ryan's brought us, thought to myself during this song, like, it's a shame that this band's not bigger than what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they shouldn't be an opening act for Metallica. They should be a co-opener.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard. That's really hard to say for a band like Metallica who has the skins on the walls that they do, right?
Yeah.
And like the cachet that they have, the pull, like they like screw you. You're no one's being a co, but that's the level of musicianship and just weight that these guys bring.
Yeah.
And when we saw them on the Metallica tour, that was like I couldn't even tell you who what was the local H was.
Local
before
H
them.
was first, and then they had a DJ in between.
Right. But like I was really bummed that I shouldn't have chosen to go get my t-shirt during Avenged. I should have done it during
Yeah.
Local H. But I was really bummed that I missed like 4 songs by them because
Yeah.
that's how long the line was.
Yeah. And they were so great. I mean, they, like you said, they could go toe to toe, but you know, piggybacking off of what you're saying though, Fisher, Avenged Sevenfold took that gig because they love Metallica.
Right.
That's that.
No,
it's
no.
it's that family atmosphere, and you're right. Avenged Sevenfold probably could have done their own tour that size, or maybe not that size because Metallica is pretty big. But
Right, to fill a football stadium.
yeah,
That's
but
pretty.
but you know the reason why they did that is because they love Metallica, and that's the one thing I will say about Pantera, Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold. A lot of these metal bands, they're standing on each other's shoulders because you don't
Right.
have Avenged Sevenfold without Metallica.
Right.
You don't have Avenged Sevenfold without Pantera. You don't have
Right.
Pantera without Metallica. So they're all kind of taking the next steps. And that's one of the things, like we talk about how the ebb and flow got tightened with Pantera, but it's influenced by Metallica. And then you have Avenged Sevenfold, which takes all those. I mean, not to say Kirk Hammett is a great guitar player, but what they're doing in Avenged Sevenfold is just, his playing is just so far. And same with Dimebag
Well,
Darrell.
I would liken the stuff that you hear in Avenged Sevenfold. That's more Dave Mustaine than it is Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Just the tightness and the technicality of everything that they do.
100%.
Um,
But you wouldn't have him without what came before him.
I
And
agree.
so my whole point in all that is what makes me sad is I feel like metal with bands like that, they progress, and it's like, who came after Avenged Sevenfold that took metal to that next level? And I like the regular metal as well, you know, bands like, you know, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is like The Darkness, you know, like these bands that kind of carry that torch of rock and heavy music. But like
Dragon Force.
no, Avenged Sevenfold was one of those bands that kind of took it to that next level. Like you said, that song with the cartoon, and they had the other one, which was like a, you know, like they just were the next progression. And that's the one thing that kind of makes me sad is like, who's that next band that's taking that style to that next level of virtuoso guitar playing and musicianship, drumming. The vocalist, Ryan, geez, those background vocals that I don't know. I guess I've never heard them because I never listened to it with headphones on, but just those background vocals in the back, his background
Yes.
during that bridge section right before the solo. I mean, and the other thing I have to say, what's so funny is I had seen Avenged Sevenfold before. And Anna and Ryan were huge Bullet fans. They loved Bullet for My Valentine. And I remember telling them,
Bullet sucks.
well, no,
Oh shit!
that's okay. We'll save that for another day. But that'll be our fight, our Fisher versus the two of us on Bullet. But I remember the whole time I was saying, y'all just wait. And Ryan and Anna were like, okay, especially Anna, she gets a little mouthy when she thinks she's the expert on this thing. And I remember as soon as they got like halfway through their set, like both of them were just like, okay, we now, and Bullet killed it that night.
They
they
did.
were great, but just Avenged Sevenfold, just I don't know what it was. It was so good. And I mean, it's a great song. I thought it'd be fun to play it because we did the whole Pantera thing. But people let us
dude, off of that album.
Sorry.
Like that's such a great song to play off that, because that album has a lot of great tunes on it.
Well, every one. I thought about playing songs off Nightmare. I thought about playing songs off, like Beast and the Harlot and what was the other one you mentioned, Ryan? The first one, Backcountry. And then what's funny is that's actually their second album. Their very first album is all hardcore scream. I mean, it's all him screaming. He just started singing on the second one. Yeah, you could literally play anything from them. But that being said, like, let us know what you think. If you liked this music, what do you think about Avenged Sevenfold? What do you think about Pantera? If you need to, that's another thing. If you want to talk about suggestions for bands that are similar to these, we'd love to talk about that online as well. So, get on YouTube, subscribe, listen to us on Spotify, listen to us on Apple Music. We're just everywhere. Is there a place that I'm missing right now? I think, are we?
Nope.
I mean,
we now have our videos up on Spotify as well.
Spotify videos. Come check us out. Let us know what you're thinking. Get on YouTube. Let us know where you saw us. We'd love to hear from you. Fisher, as always, you got some channels for us to watch.
Well,
you
I
never
do.
let us down, man. Don't let us down this week.
I'm not gonna let you down. You
Okay,
do,
good.
but just when you brought on that it's punch you in the face song that you just played, dude.
And you're welcome.
I had to applaud. That was
Was it good?
that was much needed.
Okay,
really.
good.
That was
Okay.
much needed. So they got me thinking.
Some musical
have
Viagra.
Well, I don't know about that far, but got me thinking of some videos that I saw a while back. And so this is a bonus channel
Don't do this again.
for you to check out. And the bonus channel is Avenged Sevenfold's YouTube channel, because they break down almost every song off of that album. And they talk about it's the two guitar players, Sinister Gates, and I can't think of the
Zachy
other-
Vengeance.
Yeah, the lefty.
Yeah, the lefty.
Damn,
He's
lefties.
a great guitar player too,
He
man.
is a great guitar player, but they're the ones who break down the songs and they talk about how the Rev would come in and be like, oh, I got this part for the guitar, but I'm gonna play it on the drums,
Yeah.
right? And then just how he was a really good piano player, and he was the one who would figure out the harmonies to go along with the lead singer, and the guys
Oh,
who are
that's
actually
awesome.
yeah, the guys who are singing the harmonies are the guys in the band. When
Yeah.
they talk about, do you remember having to hit this note and how hard it was because our singer already sings up here?
Yeah.
And so check that out, because I love watching artists, the actual people who wrote the songs, break down and talk about, this is what we were thinking when we wrote this, or
Yeah.
we weren't thinking at all when we wrote it. We just said, hey, let's chop this part out. That'd be really cool. Something
Yeah, kind of like
that,
Cliff
right?
Burton did with Metallica in a way.
Cliff was the guy who figured out the harmony. And if you watch the, I think it's like the Metallica's 30th of Ride the Lightning, they're talking about the recording, and Cliff went home. He was the only one who had the money to buy a ticket, because they recorded in Denmark, Ride the Lightning. And he went home early, or he went home for a week for vacation. And while he was gone, Kirk and James were like, okay, if he can do it, we, but it can't be that hard. They were like, something that would take Cliff 10 minutes to figure out the harmony. They're like, 3 hours later, we were still like, what's that part? Right.
Yeah.
Like it was.
There's an art to it. There really is.
And so, well, I don't know about the Rev, but I know Cliff actually had music theory training. And he would talk about how, well, it's in this chord, in this key, so we got to do this.
Yeah.
Right? But, that's just a long way to say, go check out that channel. Go check out, especially those videos on how they break down, the breakdown of how they wrote the song and everything. So that's your bonus channel. My 2 channels, one's a reaction, one is a kind of news channel. Not kind of, it is a news channel. The first one, the reaction channel, is called Well, We're Here Now on YouTube. And it's I just stumbled upon this channel, so I don't really know a whole bunch about it.
Okay.
But it's just 2 guys reacting. They have a lot of Radiohead reactions, which surprises me that they actually got.
How do they get away with that?
I don't know.
We can't even say the name Radiohead.
I know.
We
We can't do a featured episode of Radiohead.
We can't even say the name.
Damn freaking YouTube.
I mean, we could do we just couldn't listen to any music, which would definitely deprive the listeners out there. Anyway, so go check that channel out. Well, We're Here Now on YouTube. It's a really long name for a channel, but it's pretty good. And then the second one, this has been a metal episode. It's a channel called Metal Injection. And it is exactly what you think of when you hear that name, Metal Injection. It's all about, it's interviews, it's behind the scenes.
Wasn't that your nickname in high school?
What, Metal Injection?
Oh, Injector. I'm sorry. I digress. Continue, please.
You seem to do that every time. Every time. Here, Fisher, let's just derail your section. So go check that channel out. They have a 30th anniversary of what's the White Zombie album with Route 66?
Oh, you're talking about 1969?
1969, yeah.
Yeah, that album. I know what you're talking about. Isn't it the self-titled album?
Is it? No, then the one after that, the one hold on.
Been a while since I've heard the name White Zombie. Jeez.
You can tell, old man, no. Not Astro Creep. Yeah, the first one, Lost Exorcisto, Devil Music.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They have interviews with, surprise, surprise, not Rob Zombie, but the guitar player, drummer, and bass player.
Yeah.
Of White Zombie. And it's a shame that band only put 2 albums out, but anyway, go check out that channel, Metal Injection, if you like heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Yes.
Damn
Dude,
right, heavy metal.
Heavy freaking metal. I love it.
Yeah. How did we get on this subject? It was like we started off with these houses with this 80s pop music, and then we end up with Avenged Sevenfold.
But look, here's the thing.
Feature artist Pantera.
Yeah. Hey, these aren't themed episodes, bruh. We just go with whatever we want.
Teenagers in our lives.
Because there ain't no rules here, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Next episode's gonna be a country / hip hop episode.
Let me say, we're still gonna have the 80s house, and then we might come at you with some Beethoven. I don't know.
Hey, I'm fine with it.
It's not gonna be Beethoven, okay? It's not. But I'm okay. You know what I am gonna say though? Next week's feature, we're gonna do it first. It's gonna be a solo artist. I'll give you all that much.
Wow.
Phil Collins.
And it will not be Phil Collins, although I can add him to the list at some point. But
male or female solo artist?
I'm not giving you that much.
Come on.
I'm not giving you that much.
I need to know how much I need to check in or check out for next.
Fisher,
episode.
you have to be polite. Okay, what is this person's pronouns?
No, fuck that.
So I'm giving you enough with it.
I know what the intro is going to be.
Okay. I'll give you this little bit of tidbit
Or
of
the ender.
extra. I'll give you a little bit of this tidbit of extra, and then we're piecing out this joint because there's a tornado coming to my house.
Okay.
But they did not start off as a solo artist.
Oh.
There you go.
Peter Gabriel.
It is not Peter Gabriel.
Oh, come on. You got
He's not even if we guess it, he's not going to tell us.
But no, I will tell you 100% that it is not Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel.
You know, they
Okay.
used to play in the same band. You know that, right?
It's okay. Well, I know that now.
They did. They
But
both
hey,
played in Genesis.
Yep.
Check us out. We're putting some stuff out on Facebook. We're putting stuff out on Instagram. There's been a poll that was out not too long ago. We only had a few of you decide to
Dip
pick
your
a
toe in the
corner.
water, right?
And right now, I'm just saying it was NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. And right now, Backstreet's winning on that little,
They don't
little
know
thing
anything.
there. And so here's the deal. They don't. Heather, if you're listening, that is O'Neill's girlfriend. You don't know what you're talking about.
Dude,
I'm just
98
saying.
degrees all day.
And on that note, this guy right here sucks. But until then,
I suck
until next
Radiohead.
time, boy,
Wow,
Keep
that's
it.
whoa.
boy. But
That
until
was a
next
happy
week,
accident.
Bro.
keep living, keep loving, keep listening, and as always, keep rocking.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. That
I
was
totally missed what happened.
I said I was because you said sucks and you went and I was talking about how every time we say Radiohead we have to bleep it, and so I said I suck Radiohead.
And you went, boy.
And then all of a sudden I realized, wow. Oh my god.
There's your ender right there.
Oh my gosh. I think I busted a blood vessel behind my eyeball. I
There we
laughed
go.
so hard.
I mean, I
Oh, sorry.
whoa, we're sharing the screen there.
Whoa, I wasn't
Man,
meaning to. I
This
was-
is amateur freaking hour on
I
the
know.
UNT3.
Sorry, I was trying to sneak it in.
That-
Edit.
Good thing you didn't have the other stuff pulled up.
That was my-
You know, from like the Texas A&M 4.
It's a bunch of cows. It reminds me of that story that JB told me one
Texas
time.
A&M
You remember JB
4.
that we worked with at
Yes,
the pool place?
that guy
He's
was
all like,
crazy.
he's like, you know why I wear my high waitered boots? I said,
I know
why? He goes,
exactly what you're about to
I
say.
said, why? He goes, so when I put the sheep's backs and legs in them, they can't run away.
Oh,
And the sad part
and
is,
the nasty
I
part
couldn't
about
tell if it was telling the truth or not.
the bad part about that whole thing is that was one of the nastiest dudes in the entire world. Just like, yeah.
God bless. Hey, and if you're listening to us, thank you for subscribing.